Plaintiff Jamie Broom says the defendant was her friend until she got Jamie arrested. Jamie claims she was locked up and her license suspended because the defendant led the police to believe that Jamie was drunk driving, so she's suing. Defendant Rayanna Hill says Jamie is a partier, but she cannot hold her liquor. Once, Rayanna claims Jamie got drunk and was running down the street barefoot trying to catch a deer, and she denies owing Jamie for anything.
Start with you.
Well, I met Rayanna about 6 years ago, and we were really good friends for a while. When she had nowhere to live, I let her come live with me. I tried to help her out. She never wanted to keep a job. If she got a job, she'd get fired.
How long did you all stay together?
Well, about 3 different times, maybe for 3 weeks at a time, because I would end up having...
Over the course of what, 1 year, 2 years?
2, 3 years.
Okay. She was on and off of jobs, and what did...
Mostly off.
What did you understand the problem to be?
That she preferred to sleep all day and party all night.
All right, and have you paid a bill?
Well, I was paying my bills to live in my home. I never asked her for rent or anything. The one time that I needed a favor from her, she couldn't do that. It cost me a lot of money. I was drunk one night and asked her to drive me because she was sober.
Is that this incident we're about to deal with? All right, let me allow her to give some background if she'd like. Ma'am?
Jamie is correct. I have known her for about 6 years. We used to hang out, party. Well, Jamie, she has absolutely zero tolerance for alcohol. I mean, 1 or 2 wine coolers, she's completely smashed. I remember one time we were actually drinking. I was driving her van down some back country roads, and I had to stop the vehicle because there was a deer. Well, Jamie proceeded to take her shoes off and chase this deer through this muddy cornfield.
She's just trying to have fun.
I think it was a snowy cornfield.
It was snowy mud.
Go ahead, I got your point, though.
My next story, actually, we were drunk and we thought it would be fun to have a goat as a pet.
A what?
A goat.
A goat as a pet.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is we decided that we were gonna take a goat. So we're driving around and we're looking for a goat farm. We find one, and then we couldn't figure out how to transport this goat. I mean, do you put a goat in the trunk, in the back seat?
What was your intention to do with the goat when you got it?
Have a pet goat and name it Billy the Bad.
Got it.
Bunny.
All right. So you couldn't figure out how to transport it, so then what?
So we left the goat. We
right.
scrapped that one. Yeah.
And you all were both drunk?
Yeah.
Both times?
Yeah.
So you don't know how to handle yours either?
No, I just happened to drink way more than her.
Okay. All right, what happened here that caused you to sue her?
Well, on this particular night, she was completely sober. I don't know how that happened, but I had been drinking and I asked her to drive my car. She managed to run us out of gas because she's never driven a car that was newer than 2000, couldn't read the fuel gauge. And we literally just pulled out of the gas station and ran out of gas.
Why were you at the gas station then?
I'm not sure. I was drunk in the passenger seat. You have to ask her why we were there.
Go ahead.
I was trying to find someone to come help us out. It was 4 a.m, so no one was answering the phone. So she decided that we should push the car.
Push it where?
To the next gas station. We were between two gas stations.
Like 50 feet away from another gas station.
Yeah, we were between 2 gas stations. You could see them both. And I said, well, I'm not pushing it. So I got in the driver's seat to steer. However, when she got behind the car, it wouldn't move. So she just got back in and sat down. And while we were sitting there, the cops pulled up. Came up, we explained what happened. He said he was going to get a gas can. Came back and asked me had I been drinking. And I told him, yes, I'm drinking, but I'm not driving. And he asked me to step out of the car to do a field sobriety test. I told him it wasn't necessary because yes, I was drunk, but no, I wasn't driving.
You were attempting to drive.
I was not attempting to drive. I
If
did
you're
not have
behind the
keys.
wheel and someone is pushing the car, if you're driving.
She was sitting in
Go
the
ahead,
passenger
ma'am. That's
seat.
why you got arrested.
Well,
Go ahead. You keep thinking that. Do it again. The same thing's gonna happen. All right. Go ahead, though.
I do have the evidence right here that the police. I did tell them that she was driving. She did not admit to that. Which I'm not sure. Well, I later found out that the reason was probably because her license was suspended and she was in possession of a crack pipe. So she didn't want to admit that she
So
was
a drunk
driving.
and a crackhead.
I was drunk.
A drunk and a crackhead.
Yeah.
So you arrested us?
I'm
What are you
arrested.
suing her for? Go
She's
ahead.
arrested too, but she paid zero. It's cost me over $8,000. The case has been dismissed completely. I had to pay for a lawyer. I had my license suspended. I had impound fees on the car, all of this stuff, and all she had to have done in the very beginning was say that she was driving. When we were at trial for my DUI,
She should have told him she has crack too. I was drunk. I was driving.
She did.
No, I wasn't drunk. I was high off crack.
well, actually, she wasn't. She just
She's
had
had
the pipe.
crack pipe.
Yeah.
How do you know she wasn't high?
Because they tested it.
Well, they tested her on
And she
site?
had been with
no,
me
No,
all
no,
night.
They tested her on site?
No, they didn't test her. They tested the stuff.
The crack pipe?
Yeah.
And it had never been used?
No, it had been used.
What are you suing her for exactly? And
For the
please,
lawyer
leave
fee.
the alcohol alone. I beg you.
I don't drink very often.
Yeah, well, don't at all no more. Let me hear the rest of your story. Why she owes you. I want to hear this.
Because if she would have just said that she was driving like she was, then none of this would have happened.
Really? Okay, so she should have said, hey, it was me, not her.
She wasn't doing
And because she
anything
didn't
wrong.
do that, she owes you for every penalty you suffered.
I was penalized for driving, but I wasn't driving.
You penalized for drunk driving, right?
But the case was dismissed.
Hold on, didn't you say drunk?
The charge was drunk driving.
Right.
It was dismissed.
And you had to get a lawyer, didn't you?
Yeah.
And pay your way out of it,
Yeah.
right? And you were drunk, right?
I was drunk, yeah.
Right, so you were penalized for being drunk. Whether you know it or not, that $8,000, did you get it back?
No.
Oh, it was a penalty. So what did you want her to do? Say she was a crackhead and
No.
I did it?
Just
What did
that
you
she
want
was
her
the
to
one
do?
driving the car.
She should have intervened while you were being interviewed and said it was me. You ever heard of her saying a right to remain silent?
She didn't.
She did remain silent. That's why you caught the case.
She was arrested
Ma'am, she
too.
owes you no duty. She has no responsibility to speak up on your behalf when you are drunk and behind the wheel. Zero responsibility. Your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
Well, it's nothing new. She always gets away with everything. She never has to pay for anything that she does wrong.
I think justice was served. I don't think I owed her a dime.